about the Messi thing.
Anything else on the Messi front, Chris, before we move on?
No, I'm done. I'm
falling out. I told you, I never want to bring this guy's name up again.
I don't know, man. This Messi thing is just a freaking mess. What a disaster.
I don't want to hear this name ever again until it's official. But they got me back.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Danny, the Herons are back, baby. Welcome to another episode of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Chris Duran, and alongside me, I have Danny Solana joining me for episode 199 on this beautiful Monday. Solana, how are you doing with those beautiful shades, my friend?
I'm wearing the shades because I'm cool as shit, man. Inter Miami is top of the league, bro. We got to go. I got the Battered Heron shirt on. I got the shades on. Bro, Leo Alfonso is making team of the weeks. Dude, what more can you say? So I got the hat on. I got the shades on. I even have the harmonica out. And let's see if maybe a little later we'll entice our guests with a little bit of the harmonica. So Danny has not been replaced. I'm just filling in just for tonight because he had a little emergency to take care of. So I'm filling in, last minute, and hopefully everything's okay with what Danny had to take care of. So, Chris, I am loving it. Had a great Father's Day. I don't know how yours was. I hope yours was fantastic.
Yes.
How was it, man?
Yeah, no, mine was fantastic. I mean, there's no better way to have Father's Day than Sunday. And Sunday is my favorite day of the week. It's just for pure relaxing and doing absolutely nothing for me. And look, Pablo Golazo is on the same page with you. Alfonso getting a hat trick this week. I can feel it, right? I maybe not that so drastic. And then here's a good observation by Mr. Krabs. Danny went back to Orlando City on loan. That's a good
That's
hypothesis.
the rumor, right? That's the rumor.
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
That's what's going on in the rumor mill. Optimus Prime, respect to you, my friend, for hanging in tight. And yeah, Lamar, they might be cloning Danny. Yeah. And Mr. Krause, why you got to call me out for my sleeves on my shirt? Okay, I like to wear sleeves on my shirt every so often. I can't do that. So I obviously we're here to talk a little bit about the upcoming match this Wednesday against the Columbus Crew. But Solana, I mean, you weren't with us on the post game after the amazingly surprising game that we had on Saturday where we won. And if you could just give everybody in the chat, and everybody that's listening, what was your perspective on the game? What did you think about it?
Absolutely. So first off, I want to just send my regards to Todd the God. I told him, Philly was going to score first and Inter Miami was going to come back. Now, we both got the score wrong because we both said 3-1. But we both said Inter Miami. You said Inter Miami would score first. I think I said Philly would score first. But hey, it was what happened was what I expected. Not a great game by Inter Miami. It wasn't fancy by any means. It was a gritty performance. And dude, two red cards. You're down, two guys in the final minutes. You get a stupendous play, just magical play from Yannick Bright. And then, you love to see it. The two young guys connecting to get that final goal. And I'm not going to lie. So I told you before, and just to set, kind of set the tone for you guys, I was at the hotel where Uruguay, was staying at for the whole day. So I was watching the game on my phone at PGA National because they only play golf on the TVs there. So I'm watching the game on my phone with the Uruguay national team kind of walking in and around me as all this is going. I'm here yelling the goals, and I see Alfonso just going down the left side, and I see Benkrem just dying on the right side. And I'm like, please don't pass it. Please don't pass it. Please don't. And I thank God he didn't pass it, because if he passed it, I feel like Benkrem would have just kicked it to the right. Not going to lie. Absolutely. But overall, dude, what better way? Inter Miami, winning the game and me watching it with Uruguay. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's Judas is mentioning here. Reason why Miami won is because they had everyone bum rush. But I like to see this. Soccer Daddy is mentioning in the comments, more Bright minutes is must. And look, Judas, you're right. Philly did bum rush, right? They're trying to get the win. They literally have the biggest advantage, 11 on 9, 11 on 8, whatever it was at the moment. Now, you just had such a great, very keen play by Bright to be able to look downfield as he's getting pressure. Because, like, looking at the replay, Yannick Bright almost got tackled to the ground
Yeah,
with
he's
the
got
way
the
that he
guy
was getting
on his right
yanked.
shoulder. Yeah, he's got the guy on his right
Yes.
shoulder.
And what's going on to Florida man? What's up,
Go
mi
Cats.
familia? And but now that's the thing, right? He's getting bum rushed, he's getting destroyed, and he has enough wherewithal to be able to see the pass, makes it to a fresh off the bench Afonso. I mean, you can't get any better than that. It's like you said, if you would have given it to Ben Krem, he would have blown it, and we would have been doing a post game talking about how terrible Ben Krem of a player is.
Absolutely.
So,
I don't doubt it. But look, now you're talking about, this magical ability, exceptional, ability that, Leo Alfonso showed by finishing that, and he's on the team of the week. So you've got homegrowns, you've got these young guys that are filling in. And
yeah.
the most important thing of this 6-game, stretch without Messi, Rojas, and Suarez is to make sure you get 3 points every game. It doesn't matter how you get them.
Yeah.
It's just so, hey, Chris, like we talked about it with Danny, a couple weeks ago. I said 12 points I wanted, right? Three down. Three down.
We're only 9 away from that. Now, we still got some Columbus Crew to talk. Now, here's the thing, right? Before we bring on, and everybody knows that we always have we have the Wiseman podcast. They always come on board with us and they join us so that way we can be able to talk a little bit of Columbus Crew with them. Of course, Ty from the Wiseman Say podcast is going to join us in a bit. But before we get to that, right, we had a couple people that got red cards and that are not going to be showing up next game. So we got David Ruiz is 1, and then we got Toto Aviles, that's 2. So we need to be able to sort of fill in what the lineup may look like. Now, before I go ahead and mention mines, what was it that you thought the lineup would look like? And I know you mentioned there were 2, so I'll bring up both of them. And for those of you on audio, I'll bring it in on the video on YouTube so you can check it out. But go ahead and let me know which ones you were thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I would love to see Ian Frey step in for Toto Aviles, but I don't think Tata is going to give him that opportunity, especially playing against the defending champions. And so, just like you put it up there, I think he's going to put Saylor there. And that's the lineup that I thought had in my head. So I had Alba, Christoph, Saylor, Wigant, Busquets, Bright, and Ben Krem. Although I could see Bright and Busquets switch and let Bright play that more holding role and have Busquets a little bit higher up. Now, I wasn't impressed with Campana last game, so he's got another 5 games, 450 minutes to impress, or we all know that he's probably going to be gone. So I can't wait to talk to Ty about what he expects Columbus's lineup to be, to see if maybe Campana, and that would be another lineup to that 5-3-2 or 3-5-2 that we kind of go with, which I hope we don't play that. I really would prefer the first one. I don't know about you, Chris. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agreed with this lineup right here, the 4-3-3 with Saylor obviously filling in for Toto, and then Bright moving in on the right side where David Ruiz was stationed at. But now I had thrown something to Danny, and I thought that if Tata's going to be Tata, he's going to play 5 in the back. And so I figured this might be the lineup where you have Saylor and Allen filling out both sides of Christoph. And so there would obviously Bright wouldn't be starting. You'd have Busquets and then Gresso and Kremaki playing below, and then Campana and Taylor up top. This is what I thought would happen if Tata wants to get a little fancy and I guess more defensive minded. So.
I could see that, but I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen we haven't seen Noah play in a while, at least start in a while. And also knowing, it's going to be tough, man, knowing the players that Columbus has. And we'll talk to Ty about it now. They have Diego Rossi, they have Cucho Hernandez, and they have Ramirez that play up top, all very fast, quick players. So you see Kristoff and Sailor back there, and it's like
Yeah.
it's like a oof.
Very
You can't get slower than that. I mean, you got to put you and me back there, and then
Yes.
even then we might be faster.
Yes.
So I mean, I could.
Well, that's where Allen, I
see,
think, would make a little bit of a difference in terms of speed.
maybe, but I don't. Maybe I don't know that you made me think now. You made me think a lot, and hopefully we come back to this after. And
Yes.
after we talk to Ty and understand, how maybe we'll see Columbus, and maybe you'll change my mind, Chris. Maybe I will go with that 5-3-2.
Well, just shortly, in a couple seconds, we'll go ahead and bring on Ty from the Wiseman Say podcast. But before we do, I'm going to answer this question, Stancy. Hi, guys. Is Danny officially gone? No. He is taking care of something. It's a little bit of an emergency. No need to worry, guys. But it's amazing that you guys are looking out. And Danny is not gone. He's not in Orlando. Okay. He will be back with us. I promise. Okay. Now, Uriya Kumar is mentioning we have slow midfield to play 5-3-2. Listen, I mean, we do, but it's the problem is Tata is just, he does Tata things at sometimes, so there's nothing we can really do at that point. All right. So like I was mentioning before, we do always try to have an opposing podcast on with us, so that way we can cover the other team and see how the matchup is going to look. And we always have the Wiseman Say podcast with us to represent the Columbus crew. So none other than Ty Fisher will be joining us on the program. Everybody say what's up to Ty from Wiseman Say podcast. What's going on, Ty? How's everything going, man?
It's another damn paradise. How are you guys?
Ooh, I mean, look at this, Solana. I mean, he's come on full-fledged with the hat and everything. I mean, can't escape that.
Can't. I mean, they're the champions, man. They're the champions. You got to respect it. They'll be coming into our house though, so we could get a little loud, a little disrespectful in our house. We're known for it. So I hope the champs are ready.
A couple plates.
We were born ready.
So now, talking a little bit about Columbus crew, right? I mean, you guys just recently played up against NYCFC, who they suffered a red card. You guys won 3-2. I mean, before that, you guys took a slacking from Pachuca, 3-0. But I mean, before that, you guys were kind of, I don't want to say on a tear, but on a 3-game winning streak, no? So, how's the vibe been in the last month or two?
I mean, granted, we did lose to our most hated rival, those noisy neighbors down south. That was kind of like a wake-up call, though, because after that match, Columbus went on a 3-game road winning streak before we absolutely got demolished down in Mexico, but have continued to pick up that streak. Absolutely, just kind of waking up ourselves after that against New York City FC. So the vibe is that's behind us. The Pachuca game is behind us, and now we focus on the league because we have games in hand. They have games in hand on Cincinnati, on Miami. The league is now the focus.
I can see that. I mean, look. If anyone that doesn't follow the MLS is looking at you guys in the standings and sees you guys are sitting at 6th place, to me that's very deceiving. Solana, I mean, am I wrong, Solana, or am I right
100%.
here?
No, you're 100% right, because they've, just like Ty said, they have 4 games in hand. That's 12 points.
Ew.
They're sitting in 6th with 27 points, but you win 3 out of those 4, and you're sitting right there, chilling at 36 points, right with Cincinnati in a top 2 spot. So it's very, very deceiving. It's not really a 6th place team of the table. Again, you're talking about the defending champions, and they didn't really get any call-ups, major call-ups from their team like Inter Miami did. So you're basically going against a full-fledged roster, full force, right? Right, Ty?
I would not take any Jason Russell Rowe slander. Okay. But thinking about it, no. I mean, we have everybody that you mentioned before I even came on: Rossi, Hernandez, Ramirez. We still have Nagby, Morris, Schulte. We still have pretty much our full-fledged 11. Jason Russell Rowe is fortunate to miss his game because he's going to be playing in Copa America. So happy for him. But no, we still have all these guys that you guys mentioned before and it's going to be intriguing to see how Nancy lines up with the amount of power that he has to deal with, and with the window about to open and all the rumors happening and everything like that.
Now, as far as you guys play and the way that you guys play, I don't know. Am I wrong to say that you guys typically play like a 3-4-2 or like a 5? I mean, I don't even know how to describe it.
No, it's almost like a 3-4-3 or a 3-4-2-1, but they play with those real wide wingers. Like Farsi, man, he's unbelievable, and he just runs up and down the line. Guy never gets tired.
Yeah, so it's more so like a 3-4-2-1, with 2 center forwards sitting behind the 9. We do have the wing backs, Yaboa, Farsi, Arston, who can intertwine and be replaced with one another. But the good thing is that a couple weeks ago, I can't remember when it was, but Nancy told us that he changes the shape every 20 minutes. I think it was for when we played against Chicago. So you'll start out to see Rossi on the left, Ramirez in the middle, or Cucho on the right. And then 20 minutes, Cucho will be in the middle, Rossi on the right, Ramirez on the left. 20 minutes later, Ramirez in the middle, Rossi on the right, Cucho on the left. It's one of those things where you have enough players, and the caliber players the type caliber players that you have are able to do that and keep the opposition on their toes, because Cujo drops into the midfield to collect the ball and just sends it wide to Farsi, who's running down the wing, right? But the way that we also like to play, we're very possession heavy. We like to have the ball at our feet. So I will say good luck trying to get the ball away from Darlington Nagbe. Otherwise, you guys have to foul him like 25 times.
Well, I mean, I don't think so, because the 2 guys that foul the most and are the most brolic with the fouling are not going to be on the pitch this Wednesday. So that for sure is not going to be. We're after those 2, the closest red card getter on the team. That's actually a good question, and I'll ask you, Solana. Who would you say is the next red card getter, other than the 2 that are not going to be playing on Wednesday?
Jordi Alba. I don't even have to think about it.
Jordi Alba?
Absolutely. He's got a temper, and he'll get a stupid yellow card arguing with the ref, and then he'll probably, be late to a ball sometime in the second half. And he's very, very liable for getting a red card. I have no doubt. Other than it, I can't see anybody else, getting a red card. I don't see Busquets. Maybe Busquets on a stupid foul and also talking to the referee, but I don't see him like that. It would have to be Alba.
I honestly think it's going to be more of a disciplined game because of the simple fact that we have our 2 road ragers off the pitch. Because other than those 2, Alba is probably the other one that would get the red cards, but he's seasoned enough that I think he knows where he can toe the line at with these referees. And Florida man is agreeing. Alba easy. AZ Rebellion saying Jordi is a hothead too. The thing is, Jordi's not a hothead. I think he's just a chirper. I think he just likes to chirp and just just keep talking shit. And then all of a sudden the referee's like, look, you're getting annoying, bro. Boom. Yellow.
But when the yellow card comes out, then that's when he starts getting the hothead.
Yeah. I could see that. Now, somebody had mentioned in the chat a little bit earlier, and I'm going to see if I can be able to track this comment down. Boom. Stancy said, weren't they sick or something? They drank the water. Now, backstage before we started the program, we were talking a little bit about the game that you guys had, and basically losing in the Concacaf Champions Cup final against Pachuca. Now, obviously, I'll get to Solana in a little bit because I see you're baking there. But Ty, I mean, what was the vibe there from your fan base?
About the loss? Is if you're talking about the loss.
How you guys took the loss. I mean, was it expected? Was it something that you guys anticipated?
I would have to say it was almost 50-50 because Pachuca had not played a single game up until that game.
Yeah.
We had played 3 games on the road before then.
Yeah.
And we're somewhat still trying to get out of, the funk of losing to Cincinnati, which we did. But I would have to say it was 50-50. We were expecting a good game
Okay.
from Pachuca because of the success that we had against Tigres, against Monterrey. But we were also expecting us to win, but not by much, because we knew Pachuca was going to be handling business as the number 2 team at the time in the Concacaf rankings. What we saw was not the number 1 team in the Concacaf rankings, which was Columbus at the time.
Yeah.
It was more so of, we started great. We almost scored within the first 20 seconds of the game. But that was the only chance that we had, because then it was just all Pachuca. And I'm at the watch party at lower.com, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, this is not the number 1 team. And then here we go. Got 1 goal, 2 goals. Okay. We were down in this position before against Cincinnati last year in the Eastern Conference Final. Came back. Yeah. And then it was just like, okay, we're fine. 45 second half starts, and it was just nothing new. So I'm like, hey, at least we got the memories though to ride off of. That's it.
Yeah, but we need to get to the bottom of it though, because like Stancy said, and when I would talk about the bottom of it, I'm talking about the bottom of the toilet, because I need to understand. I really need to understand if the rumors are true. Is it true that the Columbus Crew suffered from diarrhea and that's what happened in the game? Because I've been to Mexico and I've drank the water and my stomach is kind of light. So I understand how bad it could be, but is it true?
So from what I had heard, they all drank bottled water that was provided on the trip. As far as though, I have no idea, because nobody will say, honestly.
They talk about the water, but they haven't talked about the tacos yet, huh?
Hey, man, I don't know. I wasn't down in Mexico, although I wanted to be. But from what I recall, they all drank bottled water that was provided with them for the trip. I think this is a theory that I had. I saw something about, if you're going to play at elevation, you need to leave about a week in advance in order for your body to get acclimated. Instead, they left on a Thursday, which was a day after I want to say that was Montreal that we played. They left the day after, had training on Friday, game on Saturday, and came back. That's not enough time for your body, your stomach, and everything to get acclimated to playing 8,000 feet above sea level.
Well, I'll tell you, in South America, a lot of the teams, all the teams have to go play in La Paz, which is 13,000 feet above sea level.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, the way they do it is they go up the day of the game. So they'll go and they'll stay at sea level the night before, sleep. And the morning of the game, they'll fly up to 13,000 feet, because it's easier. Like it won't hit you if you're only there for like 24 hours as bad as if you're there for a number of days. So that might have been, and again, not to get into CCC talk, but that could have been an issue as well, where the team maybe stayed there too many days. Maybe they should have went, like I said, the day, Saturday morning, flied up to where they were going to play. So the altitude might not affect them. But again, that's just how they do it in South America. So, but interesting to know that it could have either been the diarrhea or it could have been the altitude, one or the other. You guys got just as far as Inter Miami, so it's all good.
Yeah, and I want to put this to bed really quick. There's not going to be an investigation, because Crew fans were calling for an investigation on CONCACAF and whatnot. There's not going to be an investigation. Yeah, Pachuca won fair and square. They got the Club World Cup spot. Kudos to them. Let's focus on the things that we can control, and that's our spot in the standings.
Yeah. Now, and the one reason that I wanted to bring this up is because you guys obviously were the last to represent the MLS in this tournament. So that's one of the things that I kind of wanted to bring up, just to kind of go over it, because that was something that was pretty important. Now, I mean, look, we're here to preview the matchup against you guys this Wednesday. And for those of you that don't know, it is a home game for us. It is at 7:30 p.m. this Wednesday. Solana and I will be present. We will be both going to the game. Now, Ty, we kind of went over kind of how they line up and how they've been playing, I guess, of recently. Is there anything that you've seen in terms of like their play and their pace that's stood out to you guys that you think will help you guys in the win in playing against us to get the win?
I think the biggest one is we need to have Christian Ramirez start, because that guy is just he's one of those players that is silent but deadly, right?
Yeah.
He got that goal against New York City, and he's normally coming off the bench, but I feel like we need to have him start more, only because he's proven not only to fans but to the coaching staff that he still has what it takes. Yeah, he's up there in age, but he still got what it takes to play 90 minutes, if not even more. But the one thing that I think can help us win is if we just continue to play the way that we play and not try anything new, right? Nancy is always one to praise about playing the basics and competing with the brain, which I wrote a piece about that on masterreport.com if you guys want to check it out. Competing with the brain about not making too many mistakes, controlling what they can control about with the possession of the ball, the passing, when to take the shots, when to take the chances. And I think with that being the forefront of how we play and why we're on this win streak now is going to be the way going down the road. Because yeah, we can talk about, Cucho did this and he should have done this. It's the time and place for Cucho to take a shot is going to be up to him, because it's what he sees, not what we see or what Nancy sees. So playing the basics and just keeping possession of the ball, I think we're going to be fine. I think we're like the leading team in possession anyway. So
I think Inter Miami rivals you guys there, because from what I know, and Chris, back me up, but Inter Miami usually has like 70% of the possession in almost every single one of their games and double the amount of passes completed. So it's going to be interesting to see if Tata on Wednesday will, relegate the ball to Columbus. And Chris, you kind of threw it in my head earlier, man. Now you're killing me with the 5-3-2, Chris. You're killing me.
Well, and let me just see if I could give you guys some numbers to like even scare us a little bit more, because just going through kind of what you guys are about in Columbus, your long ball percentages is the highest in the league. Okay.
Oh God.
Not only is your long ball percentage the highest in the league, but you guys are the highest in the league in terms of passing percentage.
Yes.
Now, not only is that also an advantage for you guys, but when it comes to fouls, you guys are the least foul committing team in the league with 132.
Because we're the ones getting fouled 85 times a game. Just ask Darlington Nagbe, who's probably the most fouled midfielder in the league. Aiden Morris is probably a close second.
Inter Miami's got probably the most fouled player in the league. So we will leave him unmentioned since he's not on the roster for Wednesday's game. But I would love to see the stats on a Darlington Nagbe versus that unmentioned player in terms of how many times I'm gonna look it up. You guys keep chatting. I'm gonna look that up. I need to know. Now I need to know.
Please, because I would love to know also, because and it's not just the Columbus bias in me, but I every time I watch a game, it's always just Nagbe gets fouled, Nagbe gets fouled, Nagbe gets fouled. It's always Morris gets fouled, Morris gets fouled, Morris gets fouled. Nobody else gets fouled. It's always just those two. And I don't know if it's because it's they're who we work the ball through, or if it's their skill, or whether or not they're able to draw the fouls, but it's always just those two players that get fouled the absolute most whenever I'm at a Crew game.
Well, I'll tell you this much. One of the things that you mentioned that scares me is you have Cucho that comes back, gets the ball, clears it to the side.
Yeah.
And that's essentially giving you guys time to build up. And one of the things that I mentioned, I was watching your podcast a couple weeks ago where I said, you guys are so killer when it comes to ball movement. Like it is amazing. how smooth the passing is going down with you guys. And looking at I mean, again, I mentioned that you guys have the highest pass percentage, but with the corner kicks, you guys are the lowest in terms of corner kicks. Which, I don't know if that, hurts you guys, but other than that, I mean, long balls are going to be pretty suspect, especially if we have that 5 in the back, Solana, with Noah Allen playing center back. That's going to be some scary stuff right there.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Your stats, Chris, and you are the stat guru, Chris. You're just the one stat that you said that Columbus is number 1 on long balls played already scares me because of the 2 players that we could possibly have playing back there. And that would be Christoph, who's slow, and Sailor, who's slower. So, and I mean, it's just scary. You got slow and slower. Instead of having Dumb and Dumber, you got slow and slower. So I don't know, man. It's going to be real rough. And you got Diego Rossi and Cucho Hernandez. And you even said, Christian Ramirez, he can play a full 90. He might not be, he might not have the speed he once had, but he's going to put those through balls into Cucho, who is very fast, and Diego Rossi, who is also very fast. And that's going to be where Inter Miami is going to have to worry about those Christian Ramirez through balls.
I want to bring up something really. I saw it earlier that we have a Ukrainian defender from Mr. Krabs. Yeah, Yevhen Shaberko is one of those guys who has improved immensely for the Columbus Crew, and here's why. When he came over to, for those who don't know, I know when at the beginning of the season last year we were in talks with the defender, but it took time because there was some family stuff happening overseas. That was the defender. He had family in Turkey that was going through those earthquakes and everything like that. So it took time for him to come. When he got over to Columbus, he was probably still trying to get everything out of his head. And we also know about, the war in Ukraine and everything like that. But he has been so vital to the Columbus Crew defense with Rudy Camacho in the middle that I'm pretty sure he was the one that sent the ball over top to Ramirez that was able to get New York City that red card. Right. And that was from close to his own 18-yard box. So from the 18-yard box to the middle of the final third for Columbus, that's the span of when our defenders play long balls. And again, I mentioned earlier, when Cucho drops into the midfield, it's always touch, cut inside, and it's always Arston or Farsi on the far side, and that long ball just goes right then. Now we get numbers forward.
Yeah. I mean, and Danny had mentioned it earlier. I found the stats, Danny, and appreciate you chiming in. 3rd in fouls suffered, and they played 3 games less than teams in 1st and 2nd. Yep. And Solana, I confirmed it. Columbus has been fouled 237 times. Miami has been fouled supposedly 213 times.
So less.
And of course, at least less that were called. There were probably a lot more that weren't called.
Now, do we know how many of those are Nagby?
You know what? That would be a good stat to look up. And Mr. Krabs is asking if we could be able to swap Ukrainian defenders so you can get our statue, Chris.
I was going to ask the same thing because he's saying that his defender improved. And I was like, what happened to our Ukrainian guy? I mean, our Ukrainian guy didn't improve. He went like we got people trying to send him back to Ukraine. And I'm like, easy, bro. There's a war going on. We want to keep him here stateside. And I still love him.
Yevhen Shaberko is the most improved Crew player from last season. And that's not a knock on anybody else, but he has improved immensely and it shows. And I praise him every chance I get whenever we do our podcast every Tuesday night here on YouTube. I praise him immensely because he's fighting for a starting spot with Made Amundsen. And he's, in my opinion, got it. Amundsen has gotten beat out for a center back spot in the Columbus back line by Yevhen Shaberko.
Now, I mean, like I mentioned before, you guys are a scary bunch. The passing, the efficiency is on point. I mean, we're talking about long balls and I mean volleys and all kinds of stuff that are going to destroy our back line if they're not on point, especially considering that Toto is not going to be playing in this game. Now Solana, I mean, we just went over the stats. Like this is not going to be fun. This is not going to be fun at all.
I'll tell you something. I got good seats. I'm going to be sitting behind Tata. So you text me what you want me to yell, and I'll yell it. Or guys, you guys DM me what you want me to yell, and I'll yell. I'll be sitting right next to him. So if he goes with 5 in the back, you guys let me know, and I'll cook Tata. No problem. I'll cook him. I won't wear a BH shirt because we can't give it up. But
no.
I did want to ask Ty a question, if you don't mind, Chris, because
go ahead.
I want to know how Diego Rossi changed Columbus when you guys got him last year, because there was a lot of talk, the player that he replaced. And
man.
Yeah, there was because the player that he replaced was a very good player. Yeah. And so when he came in, he had some big shoes to fill. It looks like he did so. And I also want to mention one more thing. To me, Darlington Nagbe might go down as the greatest MLS player of all time. I don't know how the Columbus fan base feels about that. I know he's played at a few other, places, but that's my personal opinion. Darlington Nagbe goes down as like Mr. MLS. And then again, going back to Diego Rossi, how did that change Columbus and how you guys played? Because it made a big deal, and it was a big guy you guys let go.
Well, first of all, I think that's a big compliment coming from a guy who supports a team that has one of the greatest players in the world. So appreciate that, first of all.
Yeah.
Man, that's a loaded question in a good way, honestly. So I think he changed Columbus because Rossi has more of a attack-minded personality than Zelarayan did. And here's why. When Rossi was with LAFC, he won the Golden Boot. I think it was 2019. He's always been the one to go forward. Whereas opposed to Lucas, who, when he was with Columbus, was in one of those two spots behind Cucho Hernandez, excuse me, but wasn't one of the ones to go forward because his natural position is a cam, right? And not
more of like a 10. Like a 10.
Yeah, he's more like a traditional 10. He's known for the playmaking and the setting up. He wasn't really known for goal scoring unless it was a free kick, right? So when that transfer happened, the day of the Club America game and Leagues Cup, I remember that day like it was yesterday. I cried. And Rossi came in. I think we added another attacking piece to kind of complete the three-headed dragon of that front three, right? Granted,
Nice.
Alex Matan is more like a smaller 10, but can get forward. But Rossi has always been one of those players to get forward, to create those goals, as opposed to being like a Lucas. And the way that he changed Columbus was that, if I remember correctly, we were not getting any goals inside of the box. All of our chances were coming from outside of the box. So we were taking shots from distance, but not really being clinical inside the 18-yard box. That's where Rossi has been phenomenal at ever since joining Columbus, right? And I think, honestly, Lucas really just didn't fit the style that Nazi plays, right? Because we all, under Porter, love Porter, great coach. He was too predictable. Always playing a 4-2-3-1, right? Where, as opposed to Nazi, and I mentioned it before, if you have those three players, they're changing every 20 minutes. And Lucas just really wasn't being able to change because he always wanted to be on the left-hand side, right? And at that front three.
You're saying.
So when Rossi comes in, we know that he can have an attacking prowess on the left, on the right, and in the middle. Now it's just a matter of where is he going to be at in 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes, 80 minutes.
How did that make you feel, Chris?
That doesn't help. That doesn't help, Solana.
Yeah, Cello, Sailor, Christoph. Be ready.
I mean,
bro.
it sounds like he's going to terrorize our midfield, is what he's going to do, and he's just going to approach our back line with Sailor and Noah Allen and Stone Cold Kristoff waiting for him, and it's going to be a disaster. That's what it sounds like. Now, you mentioned some of your good stuff, Ty. Okay, let's get to the bad stuff.
Oh,
you got.
How can we beat you? How can we beat you?
Yeah, you got your house. You got your.
Kyle Darlington nagged me multiple times.
Yeah, okay. So you got the house. You got the house on the game on Inter Miami winning. You get to talk to Tata and tell him all the deets. How are we beating you?
Honestly,
what would be the?
I have no idea. Honestly,
able to beat you.
The one thing that I know for a fact is one area that we have to improve on is just positional awareness on the back line.
Yeah.
It's always, who is it? It's always Chiberko and Steven Moreira that get so far up, and Rudy Camacho is playing that sweeper defender. If you guys catch Chiberko and Moreira out of position with, say, a quick through ball and get numbers forward, now they're hustling back, and it's just relying on whether it's Farsi, Arfston, Yaboa, Camacho, and a standout performance from Patrick Schulte. Honestly, that is where our biggest weakness is, in my opinion, is that our two left and right center back get so far up, and our only middle center back is the only one back enough, and he's right at the mid. And he's right at the midline, right. So that is where our biggest weakness is, in my opinion. And I saw a comment earlier: defenders need to stay back and defend. I think that needs to happen.
Well, I mean, the Skrill is mentioning the defense need to stay back, no high line, because we've just been seeing a lot of our back line moving up a little too high. I mean, that's how we got exposed in our last game on a major goal by Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, they're pretty disciplined when they play. And you guys, with your efficiency, are like 10 times even more disciplined in your gameplay. So, like, I am literally afraid of how this game might turn out to be. It might be an amazing game, Solana. We might be in for a goal fest. And am I right or am I wrong, Solana?
I'm predicting that you're going to be right. I just didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to give away my prediction.
Well, we'll get to it right now. We'll do it right now. I mean, we'll talk predictions. We're already getting to that point. All right. It's ready to drop goals here. Now, typically, we allow our guest, Ty, to go ahead and let us know what your prediction is. So that way we could just poo-poo all over you and tell you that you're wrong. Right. So, Ty, what is your unbiased prediction for the game this Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. in Chase Stadium against Inter Miami?
Oh man, see, it is going to be a biased prediction, but to be quite honest with you, I don't know how you guys are without, the player that shall not be named, like Solana said earlier.
We've won 2 of the games he hasn't played.
Out of how many?
3.
Let's not get into all of that.
That was a genuine question. I was like, I don't know how many games he hasn't played.
I don't know exactly how many it is, but it's been a couple. It's been more than 3.
So if Wilfried Nancy throws out his top 11, and we're talking Ramirez, Cujo, Rossi up front, Morris, Nagby in the middle, I can honestly say that Columbus could win 2-1.
That's fair. I mean, it's not. I mean, Solana, he's not reaching with that.
That was fair, man. I like that. That was like a conservative. Like, you could have been like, with everything that you said, we're gonna put 6 on you guys because you guys are slow.
but
he was nice, bro. It's only 2-1. Like,
it's all about that possession. We want to kill you guys with our possession. We want to get you guys tired and whatnot.
So it looks like we're going to be getting some beers during the game, Chris, if they're going to play that possession, because if it's going to go back and forth, we can go out and get some beers.
Yeah, and AZ Rebellion is saying, fair enough. Udi Kumar is saying 2-1, Miami wins it. So now that we're leaning more towards the pink side, Solana, what's your prediction going to be for this Wednesday's game?
So I'm going to go absolutely crazy. But I saw a question earlier. They wanted to know some head-to-heads. I do have those stats. So Columbus Crew and Inter Miami have played 6 times so far. Inter Miami has won 3. Columbus Crew has won 2, and they have drawn 1. On average, there's been 2.67 goals scored per game. So that tie prediction sounds pretty good, although the home team is the one that usually scores more. I'm going to be crazy, and I'm going to say it's going to be a goal fest, and I'm going to say 4-2 Inter Miami.
I like that. I was, usually a tie, and you've been on the program before. I'm usually the exaggerating one, but I don't think I can exaggerate more than that, because I do believe in it though. Solana 4-2, I believe in that.
You want to know? You want to know who I think is going to have a huge game?
Who?
He's going to say Karmashki.
Nope, your boy Campapi. And the reason why I say that is I'm thinking back to the Pachuca game, where a couple of how Pachuca attacked Columbus Crew was they used their outside backs to kind of attack down the line, and then they played that through ball back, and they got a couple of shots on target like that. I think one of the goals was like that, if I remember correctly. And so I think Campana is going to have a big game tomorrow, and if we can hit the wings, Campana's going to have a hat trick.
Ty's just going to sit there. He's just going to keep cooking. Marasovic is saying 1-1. Super humble. Rohan is saying, hey, yo, Campana ain't Edison Cavani, right? Now, Soccer Daddy's saying Alfonso Day once more. So I imagine that Soccer Daddy pictures Alfonso getting a goal too. And this is the kind of score that I was looking at, Skrilla. 3-2, but I'm going to say 3-1. I think it's going to be 3-1. Inter Miami takes the dub. I don't think Columbus Crew is walking away with more than 1 goal. I don't think they're walking away with more than 1 goal. And Rohan, you're on the money right there. Bright has to start. And there's the drink, Hoffmat. Solana is showing you his beverage.
It's at Trader Joe's sparkling water.
Nice. Trader Joe's.
I'm sober, man. I'm sober, and I'm thinking clear. I'm telling you, I'm seeing some things in the games. I think it's gonna be an interesting match day.
Well, here's really quick. What Solana was saying. I kind of have to disagree with the 4. I'll give you guys on your prediction 3. Only because once Columbus is like down, right? It's almost all out attack from there, right? That's when, if we're down, that's when our possession and everything kills you guys. I know I talk about possession a lot, but that's just how we are, right? That's where it starts to kill you guys, right? And our wing backs, whether it's, you mentioned earlier, Farsi, who's a speed demon, and Yaboa, those guys are absolutely killer. So going down, I say 1-0, probably in like the 25th minute, expect them to kind of play back more. So then it's like a 5-2-3 almost, or maybe a 5-4-1. But it's those wing back positions that are sneaky that won't let you guys get 4. I'll tell you that.
Well, it's just about time consumption, I guess, as far as with the way that you guys play. You guys are going to kill time, and it's going to be a Boarfest 1-1, 2-1 kind of deal. But that's not what I want. I don't want that.
So Kucha has to get a brace.
Yeah. Let's not do all that.
Come on.
Let's not do all that. Now, Solana and anybody in the chat, if you guys have any questions to pose for Ty, go ahead and pose it in the chat. Solana, if you got any questions, let me know before I get to my madness.
You go for the madness, baby, because I want to see the madness. Let's go.
All right. So
what's madness? How you push a cart?
Well, I mean, we already did that with you, but I think we're missing one more. We're missing one more question. I don't know if we did this with you last time, but Danny and I had an extensive argument about what side we're picking on, right? East Coast, West Coast, or Backstreet Boys and NSYNC.
Oh,
what boy band are you siding with here, Ty?
oh man, they're both really good.
Yeah, I mean, but one is better than the other. I'm telling you right
There's
now.
only one answer here.
At least for me, there
man.
is.
You know what? I'm gonna go. Man, see, I'm gonna have to go Backstreet Boys.
Ooh, that was the answer.
I'm gonna have to go Backstreet Boy. I was actually gonna say what Mike V just said and go 98 Degree.
Yeah.
I'd have to go Backstreet Boys.
If you want to go real old school boy band, I mean, you could do Boyz II Men, but that's old school. I'd say O-Town. Anybody heard of O-Town?
O-Town.
I have, yes.
Oh, there you go.
Those guys are like the D grade of boy bands. Like,
there you go.
I mean,
bro.
we might as well talk about and you're not gonna know this too much, Ty, but there's a group called the Salsa Kids. Like, they're like even below the Salsa Kids. O-Town, like those guys don't even exist.
They had a hit, baby. They had a hit.
And Mr. Krabs is saying New Kids on the Block clears both of them. Right now, Danny, he's watching right now the podcast. Super proud of you, Ty. And I'm gonna punch Danny in the face when I see him because, to me, NSYNC is way better than Backstreet Boys. Yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding me? They dance better, they sing better. Their music was, I mean, wait, hold on. Pablo Golazo saying Menudo. Wait, what, wasn't Ricky Martin in that, Solana? Menudo? Was he in?
I think he was, man. I mean, there is a soccer kind of connection there. Ricky Martin did sing the one of the 1998 World Cup song. So there you go, man.
Yeah.
How about that soccer connection, man? Menudo and FIFA. There you go.
Look at that. All right, Ty. So before we wrap this puppy up, go ahead and let everybody in the chat know where they can be able to find you.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Fisher Tyler __. And that's pretty much it.
And check them out. Look, Wiseman Say podcast, guys. You guys are on what? You said every Thursday?
Tuesday nights at 8:00.
Tuesday nights at 8:00, guys. Check them out on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a like, sub. Check them out. They have really good content. They talk very, very well on the Columbus Crew. These guys are there seeing what's happening behind the scenes, and they give you guys their opinions and some of the things that they kind of work through. So look, Ty, it was a pleasure to have you on with us once again. And what?
I was a fan of Destiny's Child growing up.
To where?
Destiny's Child. I wasn't.
Yeah,
I wasn't a fan of Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child wasn't bad, Mr. Krabs. You're acting like Destiny's Child was bad.
Yeah,
what?
bro. Like Destiny's Child was good. It was,
By the way,
not a Swiftie. Oh my god, I am not a Swiftie.
Yeah, well,
all right, that's a good thing, man.
I've been liking Taylor Swift recently. She's been doing some pretty decent music lately. Her music has gotten a little bit better. So
yeah, but her concerts are expensive, man.
They are. She's getting a little too crazy.
Hey, by the way,
for the win.
You forgot to remind the folks, and Ty, I don't know if you know Spanish, but if you do and you want to hang out and watch the next hour, Chris and I are going to be joined by Xavier Lavos, and we will be doing a full hour in Spanish. For those of you that want to, stay in the chat, we'll just be same channel, just battered herons and Espanol. So we'll do it again. We're going to be talking something different, so definitely join in.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely. And again, Ty, we're going to be hablo en español. So if you want to join us, go ahead and hop on, check us out on YouTube. But again, thank you so much for your time, Ty. It was much appreciated. And again, everybody in the chat, please check them out. Everybody watching, please check them out. But before we go, of course, we're going to be on the Spanish channel. We're going to be on the Spanish episode shortly at 10 o'clock. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are listening on audio, go ahead and like and subscribe or comment like what Danny says and put down, Danny, you're Orlando Loner. And thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button. It's free 99, literally free 99. Okay, cost you nothing but a thumb bang. Okay. But anyways, if you're not liking it, it's okay. Thank you for watching. And Solana, thank you for hitting it, hitting the podcast with me on a day where Danny can't be with us, at least for today.
Thank
So
you to
it's
my
much
wife,
appreciated.
bro. Thank my wife. Don't thank me. She allows me to be here. So thank my wife. She's the real MVP.
Yes, and those of you that are in the chat, you guys are the MVPs. Also, we can't do the show without you guys. You guys are the best part about the show, and of course, thank you all for being on the program with us. And until the next one, have a good one, guys.